Hello and welcome. djvicvapor with you, and we're in Ableton Live 10, and we're going to be taking a look throughout the next few lessons or throughout the next few tutorials that I put together in this little course, taking a look at the Wavetable synth that's been added for us. So you can find that, I've got it open currently, but in your little browser, you click the triangle button up here, open up your browser. You go, depending on where you're at, you just go to Instruments, and you'll find Wavetable right here. So we can just grab that folder and drag it over and drop it onto a MIDI track. And there is our wavetable. So I'm just going to go over a quick overview here, show you some of the features because it does have a pretty unique interface. So let's take a quick overview of the features, and then throughout the rest of the course we'll dive into more detail for each individual section. So we've, let me see if I can zoom in for us here a little bit. Get that just right so we can see it a little bit better. So we've got the sub oscillator section here in the first part, and then we've got oscillator 1 sitting here, and you can see that highlighted. And if we click this guy, oscillator 2 is sitting here, and it's turned off currently. So oscillator 1 and 2 in this section. We've got our filters, our filter section. We've got 2 filters, 1 and 2. And we've got the different frequencies here. Of course, the second one is turned off. That's why that's grayed out on us. And then over here, we've got our different envelopes and modulation sources. And then here, if I click on this tab, it's the matrix section where we can begin to assign LFOs and envelopes and things like that. And then finally here, you've got a MIDI section where we can also use incoming MIDI information as modulation sources. And again, we'll get into all that in detail. And finally, the last little panel here is going to show us volume, poly, and glide, unison, and things of that nature. So we'll begin to look at those things in more detail. So really cool stuff here. Let's go ahead and zoom back out so I can give you another look at what makes a wavetable unique amongst all of Ableton's different instruments they made available to us over the years. We've got this triangle button here, and that's going to allow us to get this view, which is where we're going to spend a lot of time throughout the rest of the tutorial and rest of the course, is looking at this particular view here. So again, we can see our sub-oscillator, oscillator 1, oscillator 2, our different wave shapes. We've got our menus for choosing wave shapes up here, on and off buttons. And we've got our 5 different modulation sources, 3 envelopes and 2 LFOs down here, and all their different parameters to work with. So we can do a couple things here with this. We can resize it, and make it big enough to our liking. I'll fold out the directory, and now we've got this view, which is going to be pretty helpful for us. And if we come down this way, if we start to minimize and resize it this way, what you'll notice is the actual wave shapes dropped off and went back here to this view for us. And now we've just got our modulation, 5 modulation sources here. So it's a pretty cool little adjustment you can make if you need to just see these and you don't want to deal with all that real estate being taken up from you. And if you click, well, I'll get into this a little bit later. I don't want to go too far into different things here, but let's go back. All right, getting ahead of myself. But that's just a quick overview of what we've got going on here and what Wavetable is all about, where you can access it within 10. So I'm going to move on to some more tutorials, and we'll start exploring wavetables and start taking a look at things in a little bit more detail. So, all right, join me over in the next tutorial.